Hey guys, it's CJ. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to talk about a new show. Today we'll be talking about Belle Collective. Now, this is completely new for me. These names, I have to get them down, so please bear with me. There are a lot of loves in this series, in this show, so bear with me. With that being out of the way, make sure that you guys like this video and subscribe to my channel so you'll be here for all the other content that I put out. And with that being said, family, let's go ahead and get started. Now, this episode starts with Latrice. She's talking to her publicist because she's very, very anxious to get her hair care line off the ground. She has like a booming hair bundle or weave business in the city, and now she wants to expand and she wants to get her hair care line off the ground. So she's talking to her publicist, Melanie. I think that's her name, Melody. I think Melody or Melanie. I think Melanie. And they're, trying to get all that together. Now, she was in her feelings a little bit because Daddy Cliff came in the room and he saw her FaceTime and Melanie and he called her beautiful. And she was like, no, you're not supposed to call another woman beautiful but me. And so, they're talking and he really does. Is it just me? Or does he talk to her childlike almost? I know there's an age difference between the two of them, but he talks to her like a child. And in this new business endeavor, she wants him to see her as an equal rather than just, his young wife in this ordeal. And so he tells her that she needs to listen to him. It'll be fine if she just listens to what he says. And she really feels like he needs to kind of chill out a little bit. And they need to be more partner-like in this instead of him being the money man that makes the rules. And so he just said, well, maybe I'll just hand over to my checkbook and let you do it. And so she was okay with that because she probably didn't want him to have his hands in it anyway. She wanted to run it the way that she wanted to run it. That was just the vibe that I was getting. I don't know, how do y'all feel about it? But we can talk about it in the comments below. So then we go to Tambra. And Tambra, she meets with Letitia, I should say, and they talk about the brunch that happened and the craziness that went down between Marie and Latrice and how she didn't get a chance to really pitch her Ferris Street project to them because they started arguing about the hair that Marie bought, or the wig or the unit or the hair that she bought from Latrice that she said was trash. So that kind of disrupted the whole thing when they started going back and forth. And, who left? Latrice left. And so Letitia feels like, okay, I really need to get these women on board because, there is so much I want to do, talking about the project. And if we got women beefing that I need to invest in this project, then it's not going to work out the way that I want it to work out. So Tambra brings up, the fact that she's having a birthday party and she's kind of concerned because if the women cut up the way they did at a brunch, she doesn't know what they'll do at this birthday party. And she was kind of wondering, do I need to disinvite or uninvite certain people because I don't need them cutting up like that at my event. But Letitia says, no, I need them to come because I need to talk to them. I'm going to use this opportunity to kind of mend this fence or whatever that they tore down at this brunch. So then we go over to Marie. Marie's talking to her business partner, Essie, and she didn't get a chance to tell her everything that went down. So she's recapping this ordeal, and she talks about how her as, before she did that, she just kind of talked about how busy she's been being this boss, being this businesswoman. And then she has to be mom. She has to be grandmom because I guess her son's kids live with them. And so she has to take care of them also and work, and try to have her social life. But Essie wants to know about the argument with Latrice. And she just tells her what went down. And she kept saying, I came to her as the customer. And she kept saying customer. Now, I live in Mississippi. I'm here. And I had to do a lot of rewinding because some people, like their accent, they got that deep Mississippi accent. And I don't have it because I didn't grow up here. I just moved here. I've been here for about a year, but I've lived in Tennessee for more than half my life. So I've been close enough, but I'm telling you, it's just something different. But she kept saying, I came to her as the customer and she was not treating me like a customer. She just, she wasn't here for the disrespect. She felt like she came to her with an issue and she didn't fix that issue. So she definitely has a problem with Latrice. So we see Letitia again, and she is down on Ferris Street. She wants to get kind of the history and the background because her grandfather, who passed away, was such a big part of that street. That street was such a part of his history. And she just wanted to talk to somebody who still has a business there. And she just wanted to kind of get a feel of what it used to be. And also to talk about where she sees it in the future. So she gets with Miss Dorothy, really cute little lady, and they get together and she just tells her, what that street represented for Black people. That street has some of the most famous musicians. You've had some of the people from the likes of Barack Obama. Many names that mean a lot to the Black community have walked the streets of Farish, and she is very excited to hear that Letitia wants to revitalize this area. She wants to bring back its Black excellence, and she wants to do it at the hands of women. She wants women to bring this street, up so that they could serve as inspiration to other young girls growing up, to let them know, hey, you all can do this. And so I really did think that it's pretty dope of them to try to, or her vision to try to buy the block to serve as inspiration and also to help other people. So I did think that was cool. So then we go over to Antoinette and Latrice. They meet up at Antoinette's house because Latrice wants to bring her some of her hair care products. She wanted her to kind of try them out or whatever. So she brings them over, and Antoinette wanted to show her what she's done with the house since the divorce, because she's newly divorced from her husband. And so she was changing some things around so that it didn't really remind her of him. We see this box on the table, and Antoinette says it's just some of the old things that he left behind, but those things do kind of bring back some memories about him, and she intends to get rid of them in the future, but they just kind of talk about it. And we also learned that basically kids were the reason for Antoinette and her husband's divorce. I guess he wanted kids and she wasn't ready for kids at the time. So they couldn't agree on that and they parted ways and divorced. So that was a little bit about them. Then Tambra, she meets with her stylist Ken to get styled for her birthday. Her birthday's coming up. She says she's going to have two events. She's going to have one that's sort of private with family, and then she's going to have another one that is still kind of low key, but it'll have her friends there. And so Ken is going to style her, and she says that, her family is ready for her to settle down and have children. Now, she's 40 years old. I was wondering how old she was, and she's beautiful nonetheless, but I could tell that she was older, and so I was kind of curious to see how old she was, and she did let us know that she was 40. And she tells us that, she has some eggs frozen because she has had fibroid issues and she's had surgeries in the past. So just to be sure, she went ahead and got some eggs frozen for, the future, just in case she needed them. And she also revealed that somebody in the NBA offered her $1 million to have their baby. She didn't go, of course, she didn't disclose the name, but like Ken, I wanted to know who it was. Who was going to pay you $1 million just to be their baby mama? But some women would gladly take that, but like she said, she can make $1 million on her own, so she didn't really see the need in all of that. So then we go to Antoinette again, and Antoinette's meeting a friend at a baseball field because she wants to get rid of those baseball things. I guess she's going to leave them there. I thought she was going to donate them or something, or even give them to the ex-husband, but no, I don't know what she's going to do with them. They meet on the field. The friend brings wine for them to drink because she was thinking they were doing more of a yoga activity. I guess she didn't know they were there to hit some baseballs. Now, they talk about, the reason for the divorce. And Antoinette brings up her concerns that she didn't really talk about was her possibly having to raise biracial kids in Mississippi. I'm raising biracial kids in Mississippi. They don't really have a problem. I don't know how it is in Jackson, but where I live, it's not a big of a deal as she's wanting to make it out to be on TV. But I don't know but I don't live where they live. I don't have rich people problems. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but it doesn't in my life. But she says that was one of the reasons. And they have this moment where the ball represents the relationship. And once she hits the ball, that's supposed to be her being officially done with this marriage, this relationship. I guess this is a way for her to get it out of her system. And so she breaks down and they have this weird moment. She hits the ball and she and her friend run around the baseball diamond. They slide into home base. And I guess that was like the symbolism of the relationship being done. And that was it. So then it's the day of Tamra's birthday party. And they're having it at this spot called the Old Capitol Inn. Really nice little garden area out there, or I guess patio area. It's really nice. And Letitia is determined to bring these women together so she could pitch this project to them, because she is wanting these ladies in on this project. And she knows that she needs their resources, their money to make this happen. So she's going to do whatever she can to get them together. Now, Latrice says that everywhere we see her, we're going to see Daddy Cliff, because he has to know everywhere that she goes. And if he doesn't know where she's at, he's not happy. And I'm still not knowing how I feel about this situation, because he is treating her more like a daughter than a wife. I guess that's how their marriage is. And that's okay if she's happy with that. If it makes her happy, then what in the world can I say about it? But I do think it's weird. But the ladies, they want to use this moment to they sit around, they want to use this moment to kind of drag Marie. Marie's not there yet, but Antoinette's there. Latrice is there. Latrice's publicist is there. And, all of Latrice's friends are there. And you got Letitia sitting at the table too. And Letitia is like, well, wait a minute. She's not wanting to be a part of this, and she's not allowing them to drag her friend. She's telling them she's just as much of a boss as you are. She has these home health businesses, and she's got, several, and she's a millionaire, and she is a family woman. She's just basically going down the line, letting them know why she just needs a seat at the table, just as bad as they do. She deserves one just as much as they do. But Daddy Cliff also is like, y'all, we not about to do this. DJ, turn the music up. He's ready to dead this situation, because he knows that it's messy and him being like the only man at the table, he also was like, nah, that's enough. So they kind of ended right there. And Marie does show up and she decides to sit at a different table. And, you know, people are talking, there she is, that's her, or whatever, because Antoinette wasn't there. So she didn't know who Marie was or what Marie looked like. So, you know, we got Latrice talking to her like, that's her, you know. And so she's telling Daddy Cliff and everybody. And so he was like, oh, okay. So anyway, we got poor Letitia. She was just on damage control all night. She was literally working the room the whole night. She goes over to Marie and she tells Marie, who brought her business partner, Essie, you know, she's telling her, can you just talk to Latrice about what happened? You know, I really want y'all to squash this. She's trying to get them to lay their differences aside. And Marie is just not having any of it. You know, she is not, and rightfully so, this really isn't the place to talk about this issue, but she didn't even, you know, open herself up to talking to her at a later time. She was just like, this ain't the place. And basically, I'm not with that fake stuff. Y'all can go. Because Letitia even brought Latrice over to the table, and, you know, her publicist is trying to help too. So they sit them down and it's just like, no. You could see on Latrice's face that she was willing to talk to her, but Marie was just stone faced. She had that bitch face going and wanted no parts of it. It was just really uncomfortable. And so they go away. Latrice and her publicist, you know, they were like, well, we may try this another time. And so they go away, and Marie is pissed off. She was like, why did I feel like you tried to ambush me? You know, why did you bring her over here? This was not the place for any of that. I'm not with it. You know, don't do me. I'm not with that fake stuff. Don't do it. And so Letitia, y'all, I'm gonna mess these names up every time. She does tell her, you know, she tells her like some true stuff. She tells her, look, that girl was extending an olive branch by even coming to your table. You know, in all honesty, you are a boss. You know, you have a lot to lose, and you don't want to be looked at as a villain, you know, because we know you are better than that. And you were in the wrong for approaching her at, you know, you were at fault for this situation. And, you know, we need to make this right. And so she said some stuff that did sink in to Marie. It even got Marie a little emotional. She did, you know, shed a tear, because you could tell that underneath that tough exterior that she probably is very sensitive. And that's how I am. I'm nice, but there's just like a bluntness to me that I guess, you know, it's just easier to be that way, but beneath it, I'm just a big old baby and I'll cry at the drop of a hat. I'm just that kind of sensitive person. But anyway, this ain't about me. But, you know, Letitia did say some stuff to her, and it sank in. So I think that we probably will be getting a conversation from the two of them at some point. Now, Letitia also pulls Antoinette to the side to talk about the shade that she has been throwing about her brunches. And Antoinette apologizes because she knows it wasn't right. She does apologize. And Letitia also apologizes to Antoinette for talking about how her wig be sliding. And it was so funny because her wig was just like sliding further and further back. And Letitia grabbed that girl's wig and pulled it forward. I hollered when she did that, but it was hilarious to me. But they kind of squashed their little beef, and Letitia vows, you know, to move on. I forgot to mention to y'all that when Tambra pulled up, she pulled up with this motorcade like it was going to be a busy street. I mean, it was no cars on that street when she pulled up. Nobody even saw her come in, but she made this grand entrance that nobody saw, because when she made it to the back, everybody was already eating and drinking at the party, having a good time when she came in. But I thought that was funny. But it was a very beautiful event, like I said. And everybody, you know, they get together. She makes a toast. She thanks everybody for showing up, and she reminds the women that they are bosses and that they are looked at as Mississippi's finest. And she gives them this inspiration, or this inspirational little speech, and just basically lets them know that, yeah, you know, we have to basically come together. We got to have each other's backs. We represent so much more than what we think, and we, you know, we basically got to do it for the girls. But anyway, that was episode 2 of Belle Collective. It does look like it'll be an interesting enough show. I am definitely going to continue to review it, just because it does represent my home state. And like I said, again, as always, make sure that you like this video, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I thank you all so much, and y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.